Hello, family. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I want to respond to a comment request asking how can a Nigerian go to the U.S.? Can I give them any tips? I'm going to give you based on my opinion and also, working with the immigration department with my own personal, with my husband. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can get to the United States. The first one, you have to have at least $3,000 in your bank account. Why do you need that much money? Because they need to make sure that you have enough money when you travel to the U.S. that you're going to be able to support yourself. They need to make sure that you're going to be able to get a hotel, that you're going to be able to get a rental car if you know how to drive. They need to make sure you have a driver's license. If you don't drive, they need to make sure that you're going to be able to pay for a Uber or catch the bus. They need to know where you're staying at, what hotel you're staying at, how long you're going to be staying. With the visitor's visa, I think you can get it from 30 days up to 6 months. But if you get it past the 30 days, it's really going to be tough because they're going to wonder why you're going to stay longer than 30 days in the United States. The goal is not for you to go there to stay. The goal is there to go visit. So you need to have your documentation done correctly, so they can prove that you can be able to support yourself when you come to the United States. Especially if you get into some type of accident, they need you to make sure you can pay for that. That's the goal of U.S. If you can't afford to come to U.S., they're not going to give you a visitor's visa. Number 2, they need to make sure that you have a job in Nigeria. Why do they need to know that? Because if you have a job in Nigeria, they know that most jobs is not going to let you go and stay in another country past 2 weeks. Most people don't leave their jobs for 2 weeks. They go at least 2 weeks to 3 weeks, but they don't go longer than that. So they need to know that you have a job to be able to come back to. And the third thing is they need to make sure that you do not have any type of criminal record. They need to make sure you're not in no type of gang. If you have ever had a felony, were you in jail or prison, they're going to really be skeptical about that and check that out before they even approve a visitor's visa. Now, when you go over to the United States, they're going to ask you, do you know anybody in the United States? If you're going because you don't know anyone and you're going to go visit, you need to make sure you say what city and what state and where you're going to go visit. For example, if you're going to the United States and you say, I want to go visit, Disneyland, they're going to ask you where in Disneyland, because there is a Disneyland in California and then there's a Disney World in Florida. So they're going to ask a lot of different questions, and like, what city is that in? If you are married and you want to go visit your spouse, they're really going to watch that very closely, because you can't usually do a visitor's visa with the spousal visa. But if you did a visitor's visa before you did a spousal visa, you can say, she came to visit my family here in Nigeria. I want to go visit her family in the United States. And I think the maximum on that is like 30 days that you can go visit, and she could write a letter. She would have to be responsible for all your care. That means your living expenses, your food expenses, everything. And she has to be able to prove that she can take care of you. And they're going to ask that proof from her. If it's a female going to see a male, they're going to ask proof from him as well. They're going to ask, like, your marriage license. They're gonna ask so many questions on your visitor's visa. So it's really not that hard. I know a lot of government people can go. They can go based on the government dignitary visas. There's also work visas. You can go on that. You need to have a U.S. company that's willing to hire someone outside of the United States that a U.S. citizen cannot do. It could be plumbing, it could be electrical, it could be a welder, it could be a nurse, a doctor, a mechanic. It has to be something that they're in need of in the United States that can't be fulfilled by a U.S. citizen. So when that happens, the company will help you get that work visa, and it would be only for a certain amount of time. You can also get a school visa if you're going to go to school. You can get that, but you're going to have to be able to pay for your own education when you go to the United States. So you have to pay for your education plus pay for your living expenses as you're in the United States. So that could be a little tough too. So there's many ways to get to United States, and one interesting fact that maybe a lot of people don't know is that European countries don't need a visa. Majority of all African countries need a visa to come to the United States, and some Asian countries don't need a visitor's visa either. And just like as a U.S. citizen, I can go to many countries outside of Africa, but in Africa, I have to have a visa. And even some parts of Africans, they can go to some African countries. Some Nigerians can go to some African countries without a visa, just like I believe it's Chad, Ghana, different places they can go. But I think it's like 50 countries they can go to, or I can't remember. I know that it's more than 5 they can go to without a visa. But in some countries like Tanzania or Kenya, they do have to have a visa to go there as well. So this whole visa process is a little tricky. But if you really want to come to the United States, try to do it legally. Don't just try to sneak in, because if you sneak in and they catch you and you be deported back to Nigeria, you won't ever be able to come back into the United States. So I hope that tip helped you. If you have any more questions, leave a message in the comment, and I will try to answer or be more clarified in the comment for you. Have a wonderful day.